In the quiet village of Umogbu, nestled deep in the heart of Anambra state, where the red earth clung to bare feet and the scent of fresh akpu hung in the morning air, lived a woman named Nneka. She was known by many names: Nneka the weaver, Nneka of the silent smile, and less kindly, Nneka the one-eyed. Her left eye had been lost long ago, not to sickness or accident, but to a sacrifice so profound it had no name in the market square. All that remained was a smooth pale scar beneath her brow, like a moon hidden behind thick cloud. Nneka raised her only son, Obina, alone. His father had vanished before the boy could walk. Some said he drowned in the river. Others whispered he fled shame. But Nneka never spoke of him. She worked the loom from dawn till dusk, fingers dancing over threads like prayers, selling her clothes at Nkwo market to feed Obina, clothe him, and send him to the missionary school in Auka. Obina was bright, sharp as a new machete. He read books like others chewed kola nuts, and his teachers often said he would carry the village on his back. But as he grew taller, his pride grew faster. He began to notice how other children pointed at his mother's face when she came to school events, how they mimicked her slow blink, how even the teachers averted their eyes when speaking to her. Shame, sour and thick, settled in his chest. By the time he was 16, Obina barely looked at Nneka. He spoke only when necessary, voice clipped, eyes fixed on the horizon beyond Mokbu. When he won a full scholarship to study engineering in Lagos, he left without a proper goodbye, just a note tucked under a clay pot. "I go make better life, no worry." Nneka read it under the moonlight, her one good eye tracing each word like a wound. She folded the paper and tucked it into the hollow of her loom, where she kept her most precious things. 10 years passed. Lagos swallowed Obina whole and spat him out polished. He wore creased shorts, drove a silver car, and lived in a flat in Surulere with floor-to-ceiling windows that showed nothing of the street below. He married a woman named Choma, whose laughter was like bells and whose family owned a chain of pharmacies. They had 2 children, Adaura, 7, and Emeka, 5, who spoke English more than Igbo and thought village meant dirty place with no Wi-Fi. Obina never spoke of Umokbo, never mentioned his mother. When Chioma asked about his family, he'd say, "My people are gone," and change the subject. In his mind, Nneka belonged to a past he scrubbed clean, a stain he'd bleached out of his new life. But news travels, even through concrete jungles. A cousin from Auka visited Lagos on business, and over bitter kola nut and palm wine, at a reunion Obina almost escaped, said, "Nneka still dey no Mokbo. She hear say you don't build house for Banana Island. She dey proud for you." Obina stiffened. "She not get business for my life." The cousin blinked. "But she be your mother." "Not anymore," Obina muttered and walked away. Still, the words stuck like gum to his shoe. He began to dream of her, her one eye watching him from the dark, her hands weaving threads that turned into chains. Then, one humid Tuesday, as Adaora and Emeka played with toy cars on the marble floor, the house help, BC, came in flustered. "Oga Obina, there is woman outside. She says she be mama." Obina's blood turned to ice. "Send her away," he snapped. "Tell her say I no dey." But BC hesitated. She looks say she don't walk long way. Her wrapper don't tear, and she carries small basket. She no talk much, just stand by gate like tree. Obina's jaw tightened. He strode to the window, peered through the blinds. There she was, Nneka, older, thinner, her wrapper faded to the color of dry mud. Her hair, once thick and black, now gray and tied in a loose knot. And that eye, still missing, still haunting. Panic clawed at his throat. What if neighbors see? What if Choma finds out? What if the children? He flung open the door before he could think. "Why you come here?" he hissed, stepping onto the porch so the children wouldn't hear. Nneka didn't flinch. She looked at him with her one eye, deep and calm as a village well. "I just want see you, my son," she said softly in Igbo. "I hear say you dey fine." "I no be your son." The words burst out like shrapnel. "You dey shame me for life. One eye. You think say I go let my children see you like this? Go back, Mokbo. Go abeg." Adaora and Nneka, curious, had crept to the doorway. "Mommy, who is that woman?" Adora asked, tugging Chioma's wrapper. Chioma frowned. "I do not know, but why is your father shouting?" Emeka giggled. "Look, she has one eye, like a pirate." Adora joined in, pointing. "One eye, one eye." Their laughter rang out, sharp and careless, slicing through the heavy air. Nneka's face didn't change, but something in her posture, like a tree bending before it breaks, told Obina everything. Without a word, she turned and walked away, her bare feet silent on the tarred road. Obina slammed the door so hard the glass rattled. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw his mother's back receding into the Lagos dusk, her basket swinging like a pendulum of shame. He tossed and turned, guilt gnawing at him like termites in dry wood. Chioma stirred. "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing," he muttered. But it wasn't nothing. A week later, a letter arrived, hand-delivered by a boy from the village who'd hitched a lorry to Lagos. It was sealed with red wax, the kind Nneka used for her best clothes. Inside, no words, just a small folded piece of fabric, deep indigo, woven with a pattern Obina hadn't seen since childhood. In the center was an eye, stitched in white thread. Not one eye, two. Beneath it, a note in shaky handwriting. "This cloth I weave for you when you born. I cut one eye to save your life. Come back, my son, before I join your papa." Obina's hands trembled. Memories flooded back. Fever dreams, a dark hut, the smell of herbs, her mother screaming in the night. He had been 5. Malaria had gripped him like a demon. The Dibia said only a blood sacrifice could break its hold. A life for a life. But Nneka had no goats, no chicken worth the price. So she offered what she had, her eye. She had let the Dibia cut it out with a hot blade, chanting as the blood poured, praying as the fever broke by dawn. Obina had woken up weak but alive. He never knew. She never told him. She had hidden the truth behind silence and scar tissue. Now the mystery unraveled like a spool of thread. He wept, great, heaving sobs that shook his chest, not just for what she had done, but for how he'd repaid her. The next morning, Obina packed 2 bags, one for him, one for the children. Chioma protested. "But honey, we can't live like that. Work, school." "I will explain later," he said, voice firm. "But today we are going to see my mother." They drove through the night, past sleeping towns and roadside shrines, until the city gave way to red earth and cassava farms. Umuokbu greeted them with dust and chickens. Nneka's hut stood at the edge of the village near the old Iroko tree. Smoke curled from the roof. She was at her loom, fingers still dancing, though slower now. Obina stepped forward, fell to his knees in the dirt. "Mama, I am sorry," he choked. Nneka looked up, her one eye filled with tears, but she smiled, the same quiet smile that had carried him through childhood. "You come," she said simply. Adaora and Emeka hung back, wide-eyed. They'd never seen a hut like this, never smelt wood smoke mixed with yam porridge. "Grandmama," Adora whispered. Nneka nodded. "Yes, my child." Emeka pointed shyly. "Your eye?" Nneka touched the scar. "I give am to your papa, so he fit live. So you two fit dey here today." The children were silent. Then Adora stopped forward and hugged Nneka's thin waist. Emeka followed. Obina watched, tears streaming. In that moment, the shame he'd carried for years dissolved, not into nothing, but into something stronger, love laced with regret. They stayed for a week. Obina helped repair the roof. Chioma learned to pound yam.
The children chased lizards and listened to Nneka stories, tales of tortoise and leopard, of rivers that sang and trees that remembered. On their last evening, as fireflies blinked above the compound, Obinna sat with his mother under the iroko tree. He asked, "Why you not tell me?" "Because love no need witness, and shame no fit live where truth dey." He held her hand, rough from weaving, warm from life. "I go build you new house, here, with running water and big window." She chuckled. "I no need big house, I need my son." He nodded. "You get am." Years later, when Nneka passed quietly in her sleep at 92, Obinna buried her beneath the iroko tree. He built a small school in her name where village children learned to read and to see beyond the surface. And every Sunday without fail, he brought his own grandchildren to sit under that tree,
where he tell them the story of the woman with one eye and the love that saw everything. In Umuoku, they still speak of Nneka, not as the one-eyed, but as Nneka the seer, for she saw what others could not, that true sight lies not in the eyes, but in the heart. And sometimes, in the quiet of the night, if you listen closely near the old loom, you can hear the soft clack-clack of threads being woven, not into cloth, but into forgiveness. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll past in silence. Smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss a folk tale that heals, teaches, and remembers. Like this video, it helps others find these tales. Comment below, "Nneka's love opened my eyes," or share a memory of someone who sacrificed for you. Because in every scar, there's a story, and every story deserves to be heard. Welcome to Endless News Stories, our storytelling home.